Since you were mentioned that Vedic mathematics is 1500 years old, why it has been not been systematized like Euclidean mathematics?
So Vedic mathematics is the world's fastest mental mathematics originating from India.
Today we have with us someone who is redefining how India and the world looks at mathematics. He is the president of the Indian Vedic Maths Forum, the organization that has impacted millions of students globally by transforming the fear of numbers into confidence and curiosity. Gaurav Tekriwal has dedicated more than 2 decades to spread the power of Vedic mathematics, a system that makes complex calculation faster, intuitive, and even enjoyable. Some people claimed Vedic maths as magic tricks.
Shakuntala Devi. I have been mentored by her. I'll be happy to share that this was in 2005 and I went and met her in Bangalore. She used to stay in Baswan Guddi and she was a very nice lady and she had written the book called Figuring the Joy of Numbers.
Thank you, Chandrasekhar. I'm very happy to be here.
This knowledge was reconstructed by the Sankaracharya of Puri. His name was Bharati Krishna Tirtha Ji Maharaja, and in the Sankaracharya tradition, he was the 143rd Sankaracharya of Puri.
Beyond education, he also serves as a member of Apex Advisory Committee under the Department of Science and Technology at the Government of India, contributing to how science and knowledge are communicated at the national level. In this conversation, we explore not just numbers, but mindset, learning, and the future of education.
Recently, just 6 months back, I was in Uganda, in Kampala. The national agenda is make our students better in mathematics, sir. She is the first influential lady from the European Union to say that about the contributions of Indian mathematical scientists and astronomers.
True. Some years back, there has been news which claimed that ISRO has used the concept of Vedic maths to launch the Chandrayaan 2. ISRO scientist has taken the help of some Vedic maths expert to launch the satellite. Have you heard the news? Hi sir, welcome to Curious Minds.
Thank you so very much, Ayush.
When someone hears about the Vedic maths, so what are they actually hearing? Is they hearing about ancient wisdom? Is they talking about modern mathematics or something in between?
Well, when somebody hears about Vedic mathematics, they should first understand that it is coming from India. Like coming, you have Vedic mathematics also. So Vedic mathematics is the world's fastest mental mathematics originating from India. Just like India has invented the zero, the decimal system, and so many other things in mathematics. So India has also invented something called the mental mathematics system, by which you can calculate faster, easier, and math become much more simpler. The only thing is that it was lost due to thousands of years of Mughal rule, British rule. We were invaded by so many people from different cultures across the world. So our knowledge was lost. So this knowledge was reconstructed by the Sankaracharya of Puri. His name was Bharati Krishna Tirtha Ji Maharaja, and in the Sankaracharya tradition, he was the 143rd Sankaracharya of Puri. As you know, there are four Sankaracharyas each for each direction in the country. So this was founded by the Sankaracharya of Puri. He had reconstructed the ancient sutras and written a book called Vedic Mathematics, where he gave 16 sutras and 13 sub-sutras by which you can calculate and make things easier in mathematics. Yes.
क्या रहते ये 16 सूत्रास 13 सब सूत्रास जो आपने कहा अभी है?
Yes. So I'll be happy to take you through the origins of the 16 and 13 sub-sutras. So the origins, as claimed by Tirthaji, was Vedic scriptures, the ancient Indian Vedic scriptures. That is why the book was called Vedic Mathematics, which was written by the Sankaracharya of Puri. Now, the current Sankaracharya of Puri have given the sources of the sutras from by studying the ancient Vedic scriptures. So there was a sutra called Shishite Shesham Gyaha. I repeat, Shishite Shesham Gyaha, which means remainders remaining constant. So that appears in Srimad Bhagavatam, chapter 10.3.25. If you check that shlok, you will get the exact reference of the sutra. Also, the current Sankaracharya of Puri, his name is Swami Nishchalananji Maharaj, and he has written a book. It's called Sutra Anushilam.
Okay.
So it is in this book that he has given all the sources of the sutras. So I must tell you that the sources of the sutras and the research in Vedic mathematics is very much alive and kicking. So if you go to all the Vedic maths conferences, you will see papers by the Govardhan Matpit, which is the establishment of Sankaracharya ji, where he is given the book and references to the sutras. So if you just go through the pages where the sthal and upsthal of the sutras have been given. So if you want the reference of any sutra in Vedic mathematics, I'll be happy to just open and give it to you, sir.
थैंक यू सर. सर जैसे मॉडर्न मैथमेटिक्स में वी हैव डिफरेंट ब्रांचेस लाइक algebra, like we have trigonometry. Same way in Vedic maths, are we have some branches?
Yes. In Vedic mathematics, you can do arithmetic, you can do algebra, you can do geometry, you can do trigonometry, you can even do calculus. And research is on to apply Vedic math, as I just said, in higher mathematics also. So you can do a child, if he starts doing Vedic maths in 8 years, he can do it up to 18 years, where he can do higher applications of Vedic mathematics also, which is trigonometry, calculus. These sutras have been given by Tirtha ji and they have been worked upon by various scholars in India. There have been various scholars who have worked upon and authored books where all the workings of the sutras have been duly given.
कौन सी लैंग्वेज में वैदिक मैथ्स पूरा लिखा हुआ है?
Sir, as I can present to you, if you go through the Sutra Anushilam book, so Vedic mathematics sutras are originally from Vedic Indian scriptures. These are ancient Indian scriptures like Srimad Bhagavatam, the Upanishads, like Siddhanta Shrimani. So these books have mentioned the sutras in Sanskrit. Now, to aid to the understanding of the common man, the Sankaracharya of Puri translated these sutras from Sanskrit to English and presented them in a very lucid manner. He presented them as word formulas. For example, there's a sutra for multiplication. It's called Urdhava Tiryakbhyam. I repeat, there's a Sanskrit sutra for multiplication. It's called Urdhava Tiryakbhyam. Well, translated into English, it means vertically and crosswise. I repeat, it's called vertically and crosswise, which is a pattern and a word sutra. If you apply to multiply numbers, and if you see some of my videos or even my book, you'll see the exact pattern by which you can multiply vertically, and then you multiply crosswise, and then you multiply vertically again, and you get the answer for a 2-digit multiplication into a 2-digit multiplication. So it's like that in Vedic mathematics.
Do Vedic mathematics cover all the branches of modern mathematics?
Well, there's a short history about Vedic math, which I must tell you. So Swamiji claimed that the Vedic math sutras, he had initially written 16 volumes of work, which means 16 books where he had covered all the branches of mathematics. That was the claim made by Tirtha ji. Now, in the book, if you read the history, the 15 books were lost. They were stolen away, and only one book remained, which you see the light of the day, which is Vedic Mathematics, published by Motilal Banarsi Das in earliest 20th century. It was published in 1965 after passing away, Samadhi taken by Swamiji. So the claim was there, and which is also now being proved by the researchers. So the book had limitations. You could find the book up to calculus, but now if you see, applications are also being there in beyond calculus as well. For example, in IT, in VLSI, and other concepts of information technology. If you just Google or go to any scholar research paper website, you will find papers written by scholars from India in the last 20 years who have worked upon. In this regard, Ayush, I would like to highlight the work of Himanshu Thapliyal. So he was the first scholar of Indian origin to start work on higher mathematics and applications of Vedic maths in IT. And he's from Triple IT Hyderabad. And right now he's working in the US under a university. So,
So,
so
so
a lot of research right now going around in the country on Vedic maths, a lot of higher applications, lot of basic applications being implemented into the school curriculum as well. And yes, in the future, you will also see many research papers by a lot of scholars in mathematics. So yes, as you had asked me, does Vedic maths cover all of mathematics? Till now, you can see applications till IT, but you'll see more applications very soon as well.
सर जैसा आपने कहा कि द बुक हैज बीन स्टोलन, सो क्या उस बुक में सब कुछ कवर था एंड क्या स्टोरी था उसके पीछे?
So there were 15 volumes, 16 total volumes of the book, 16, 1 6, which represented the 16 sutras. Each sutra had one book.
ओके, तो हर
So
एक सूत्र
the
की बुक है.
correct. There was a each sutra ka har ek book tha. So now that book has been, those 15 volumes have been stolen. And if you read the history of the Vedic mathematics book, given in the preface of the book, you will see that it was a gigantic loss. I wasn't there around that time. I wasn't even born. So much of the detailed history is still, whatever is known to me is still by the history of the book only, from the forward of the book.
या इट्स स्टिल
But
इन
yes,
मिस्ट्री.
is still a mystery. Who took it? How did it happen? Where is it now? Nobody knows. Nobody knows. It's still a mystery. You rightly pointed out. But yes, whatever still remains is enough for students in schools, applications in schools. So they can make math simple, they can make maths easier. And the fear of mathematics, which is there, that goes away from Vedic mathematics as well.
Sir, since you were mentioned that Vedic mathematics is 1500 years old, then why it has been not been systematized like Euclidean mathematics?
That's a very good question, Ayush. As you know, in India, we had few hundred years of British rule, and before that, we had years of Mughal rule, and our own culture, the Indian culture, the Hindu culture was being invaded, our knowledge was being stolen, protected in their own temples. Somnath were desecrated by people who invaded many times. Our libraries in Nalanda, Takshashila, they were burned down by invaders. So you see, there was an attempt to dump our own culture. So not going too far, if you see Macaulay's British rule, so they have tried to systematically dumb down Indian culture. Today, we don't appreciate our own culture. I'm sorry to say, but we've been all been colonized. It is right now only in the current government that we are seeing the national education policy that everything which is Indian is being revived, including Vedic mathematics. So
True.
this is one of the main reasons our knowledge was lost. Not only just Vedic maths. You see, yoga was lost. It was taken away by us. Never used to follow yoga. Ayurveda was lost. We never gave credit to our own ancient art of healing. Our ancient astronomers, scholars were quite qualified people, though not in the current degree system, but they were saints. And that is
True,
why they were revered by so many Indians.
true, true. So recently only, sir, I have done the podcast with Ayurveda doctor, and he has claimed that Ayurveda has every cure disease, has every medicine. No disease is there which can't be cured by Ayurveda.
Right. Ancient seers were not just seers. Means I have gone to the Govardhan Mutt. I had the opportunity to interview the current Sankaracharya of Puri, Swami Nichalanand Saraswati ji. I have seen the knowledge from which is emanated from that place. It's amazing. You have to go down and see those places and really believe that the ancient scholars, the ancients, they were actually saints. And the knowledge is amazing. Nobody can match it. You see, civilizations have come and gone, but the Indian civilization is the only one which has stayed. So, yeah.
क्या क्या सीखा पूरी से just taught me some
So,
extra
I went in
points.
search of the sources of Vedic mathematics, sutras. So, I had interviewed the Sankaracharya. It was the first interview on Vedic mathematics of the current Sankaracharya of Puri. So, I had the opportunity to interview him, find out the sources from him, tell him that there's a global audience of Vedic mathematics which is there. They want to, excuse me, so they want to learn Vedic mathematics. They want to understand it. They want to see the roots from where it is coming. Today, India is becoming a global superpower. It's not just because of anything else apart from their own culture, the civilization which we have, our own heritage. And the basics of that is mathematics, Vedic mathematics.
True, true. आप कैसे वैदिक मैथमेटिक्स को पूरा देखते हैं? इट्स लाइक अ मैथमेटिकल कैलकुलेशन और जस्ट शॉर्टकट टेक्निक्स?
Is much beyond shortcut. Shortcut is just a passing away way to say that it is a shortcut trick of mathematics or it is a mathematical hack. There's a science behind each and every sutra. It is just not a mathematical trick. It's not a magic trick. Each and every sutra has a science behind it. The pronunciation has a meaning. There's a deeper meaning to that. Why is zero zero? It's not just because it means nothing. There's a meaning to it. There's a meaning to shunya. There's a philosophical meaning behind every aspect of each sutra. Each sutra, having said that, is algebraically proven. So each sutra has manifold applications. How can you say it is just a matter of chance that it is a shortcut trick? Not at all. It is a super speciality thought behind it. For example, I must tell you, there's a sutra called Nikhilam Navatascharam Dashataha. It means that all from nine, Nikhilam, all from nine, Navatascharam, all from nine, Dashataha, which means from 10. So all from 9 and last from 10 means that when you subtract from 100, 1000, 10,000, when you subtract any number, you subtract all the numbers first from 9 and the last number you subtract from 10. So there's a thought behind it given by Swamiji that you can mentally compute. And it is not by chance. No matter how many tricks you have applied, it's not by chance. So there are students, there are scholars who, when they are given problems, when they write it on the board, they can mentally compute it. For example, there was this Our Lady called Shakuntala Devi. I also had the opportunity to meet her. That
Really?
was back into, yes. I have been mentored by her. I'll be happy to share that this was in 2005, and I went and met her in Bangalore. She used to say in Baswan Goody, and she was a very nice lady. And she had written the book called Figuring the Joy of Numbers, published by Orient Paperbacks. So I asked her, ma'am, that how should I go about it? Please guide me, because I was very young at that time. I was just 25 years old and I was willing to learn. That's why I went to the Sankaracharya of Puri. That's why I went to Shakuntala Devi ji. And she guided me about the benefits of Vedic mathematics, that how you can propagate Vedic maths among the masses. She guided me, she told me the secrets of Vedic mathematics. She gave me access to her library. And when I saw her library, I was amazed because all that was given there were Vedic mathematics editions after editions. I saw at least 3 to 4 editions of Vedic mathematics books. Can you imagine that? So she was the first lady from India to go global because of mathematical powers. She created her own Guinness record because of mathematical powers. But yes, she was a prodigy also who worked on the Vedic Math Sutras. She never gave out any of her secret apart from some in the book, figuring the joy of numbers. But yes, she was a prodigy also who worked on Vedic mathematics. I was very fortunate by the grace of God. I met her many times until her passing away in 2013.
Some people claimed Vedic maths as a magic tricks. Do you believe this?
Not at all, not at all. Even Swamiji said that it may look like magic, but it maths thereafter. If you read the book Vedic Mathematics, Swamiji himself said it looks like magic. That how can, say, if I give you the expansion of 1 by 19, how can somebody write the expansion of 1 by 19 in less than 20 seconds up to 18 places of decimal? Tell me that. Is it a joke? No, it's maths behind it. So today, the researchers have gone much beyond that. Say 1 by 13, 1 by 7, 1 by 29. You can just calculate and write down the full value. That is, seems like magic, but there's a science behind it. So in this context, I must highlight my book, which is Math Sutra, where I have also given proofs of the mathematical formulas, which is algebraically proven, as I have earlier on said also. Each and every Vedic Math Sutra has a scientific basis, has a scientific proof, which is proven by algebra. So anybody can practice it. It's not rocket science. It's not magic tricks. You can practice it, excel in mathematics, and move on with life. That's what Vedic Math is. It's like a life skill that anybody can practice it. Everybody must practice it just like yoga. I must also tell you, Ayush, that we have applied just like Durga Puja, Diwali, they have been on the intangible cultural heritage list of UNESCO. So we have also applied for the intangible cultural heritage list for UNESCO for Vedic mathematics. If you see the Times of India on 12th February, just 5 days ago, just Google it on Google News, you will get it. That you'll see the complete article on the work that we have done to promote Vedic mathematics at an international stage. So if you see, it can't be said as magic tricks. Had it been, would have somebody considered to be on the global stage? Not at all. Not at all. I don't think so. It is much more powerful than that. We don't want to have tall claims around Vedic mathematics that it can solve all of the world's mathematical problems. That is not true at all. Vedic maths, I must say, does not seek to replace the current mathematics. It only wants to complement it because maths becomes easier. The calculations with the children have and they have to do very tedious. They can simplify that with the help of Vedic mathematics. And yes, competitive examinations like the board examinations or GMAT or CAT or SATs become much simpler with Vedic mathematics. You read the word problem, you apply a little bit of Vedic maths, and you cracked it. So I have seen myself. In fact, I must say that there was this lady, you can check on India Today. Her name was Neha Manglik. She used Vedic maths techniques to crack CAT, and she passed out of IIM Ahmedabad with flying colors. So there have been many such instances, and I have covered Neha's story in my book, Math Sutra. So yes, you can Google her name also and check it with her.
Since it has a logic and power, then why India hasn't positioned Vedic maths as a global intellectual export like Ayurveda?
As I just mentioned right now, we are exporting it. We've been the first organization in the last 25 years from India to export Vedic mathematics from our own website, vedicmathindia.org. I
And क्या
must tell
पूरा
you that,
and क्या पूरा procedure है? How did you just do this?
yeah, sure, I'll tell you. So, but before that, I must lay stress on something important also, that if you watch Prime Minister Modi's Man Ki Baat, right? So it was graces by the Prime Minister to select me, and we had a conversation on Man Ki Baat on Vedic mathematics. That was the first time Vedic mathematics was introduced to the whole of the country in 2022 April on Man Ki Baat. We had a very good discussion. Is up on YouTube. You can go check it. And that was the first time the country itself woke up to Vedic mathematics. So the knowledge was lost. It is being reconstructed by it was reconstructed by Swamiji, and now it is being made popular again. It was dumbed down by our own mathematicians in our own country because of lack of the sources. It was criticized because the sources of Vedic mathematics was not there. But now the sources are there. The research has been done. The books are there. It's gonna go all the way. It's gonna go bigger than yoga and Ayurveda. I must tell you this, Ayush. Recently, in Pariksha Charcha, Prime Minister Modi again mentioned about Vedic mathematics. You must have noted that. We're taking it to UNESCO. We are opening museum, a Vedic Math museum in Kolkata under the Vedic Math Forum India banner. Now, I must tell you how I started exporting Vedic maths. Well, first understand the background. Mathematics is broken in many countries, not just in India, not just in the UK, but also in countries like Africa, where there's lack of infrastructure. In India, you have a better infrastructure. But if you notice, countries like Uganda, countries like South Africa, they don't have a very good system because of apartheid. We got independent in 1947, but other countries, there are still problems. I recently visited Uganda. I visited South Africa, and I have seen the problems which is there in the mathematical education in those countries. The system is entirely broken. Just like in our country, we have national agendas like defense, security, healthcare. So, national agenda in some of the country is mathematics. Would you believe it? I was shocked to see that in South Africa. Recently, just 6 months back, I was in Uganda, in Kampala. The national agenda is make our students better in mathematics, sir.
Really?
And what solutions do we have? What solutions do we have? We don't have any solutions. How much technology will you use? Can every country in the world afford to use technology? No, that is not the case. System is broken. So that is where a system like Vedic Maths comes in, where you don't need technology at all. That is where the export of Vedic Maths comes in. I was invited in South Africa. This was in 2008 for the first time. And I was there in Durban. A host invited me when he came to know about my work through my website, and he invited me for my videos, which was popular, still popular around that time also. So a copy reached him. He bought it from my website, and he invited me over. He took me to the education system. We met a lot of government officials around there. I did a pilot program with the Department of Education KwaZulu Natal in Durban province. So there I saw, Ayush, that people, I asked them, what is 8 times 8? Students, I asked them, you know how they did it? They do eight circles. Again, to do eight circles. They do 64 circles, Ayush. Then they started counting one, two,
My
three.
God.
After 5 minutes, they counted wrong and tell me the answer is 62. Can you imagine that? So, bottom line is there's a big demand of Vedic mathematics outside the country. And that is where they asked me, can we implement it? I said, certainly you can implement it in South Africa. I sent the first batch of my videos out, my books out, and it was a whole truckload of books. It was a big order which we got. And then that started through my website. The government placed an order. And then that started once, twice. Then I went in again. We on our website too. Change the system of the entire world, Ayush, the entire world. This is just the beginning. I've seen it. Nothing has changed in Africa. It's the same in South America. And if you must have noted, maths is the major problem in a country like UK as well. The ex-prime minister of UK, Mr. Rishi Sunak, and his wife have opened an NGO called the Richmond Project just to uplift the mathematical levels of the country in UK. So math is a national concern. It is just that it is being overlooked. We have not seen the major problems of mathematics. Countries like Uganda fail to produce engineers, scientists, doctors, all because of lack of mathematics. And that is where, sir, a system like Vedic math steps in. Because if you have a culture foundation like Vedic maths, you can make the country go higher and higher and higher. And that is why right now our own Prime Minister is trying to promote it in a big way by giving platforms like Man Ki Baat to me, Pariksha Pe Charcha, taking it to UNESCO, and now we'll be launching it in the syllabus. It is already a part of today's National Education Policy 2020. I am a guest faculty of Triple IT Prayagraj. In that university, if you take Vedic mathematics courses, value added courses, you're given 2 credits in the academic credit bank. And it's just not in those universities. The 7 to 10 other universities where the course is implemented as a value added course. So Vedic maths will go not only national, sir, it has many applications which you and even me can imagine.
But
And
sir,
it's not just this. Just wanted to add, in April, I'll be going to Mongolia to spread Vedic mathematics there. People in Mongolia don't even know that a system like Vedic math exists. That is the power of and the beauty of Vedic maths because it can transcend barriers like yoga and Ayurveda. That is the power of a culture like India. Tell me, Ayush.
but sir, do you believe that Western countries follow Vedic maths? Because when I was studying in the school, we used to have the Oxford book for mathematics, and in that book, it can be viewed that they are just viewed as a skepticism or they challenge the existence of Vedic maths.
So all that will change. No, what is the problem? There is a US UK deal, US and India deal signed up. The entire Europe has signed a recent deal with us. If you go through
But how
the,
that deal will have impact on Vedic mathematics?
I'll tell you, if you go through the speech by the guest who was there from Europe in a Republic Day, I forget her name, Markela somebody.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
go through my tweet. I tweeted her. She's the first influential lady from the European Union to say that about the contributions of Indian mathematical scientists and astronomers. They are the ones who change the dynamics of Europe thanks to the Indian system. So right now they may view it as a skepticism because our own mathematics dumbed it down because of the colonial mindset. One of the reasons why Vedic math is being implemented is because to get rid of this colonial mindset, Ayush. This mindset is very important.
True.
Our ancient, I mean, just baby, this is just a generation before that, the baby boomers, just before that. Those mathematicians criticized Vedic mathematics because there was a lack of origin in them.
True.
But after that, did they even bother to see the research which is happening in the system? No, the answer is big, big no. Did they even bother to go to the Govardhan Mutt and speak to the Colonel Sankaracharya about the sources of Vedic mathematics? कि सर आप दे दीजिए sources. The answer is big no. And our ancient seers knew about it. That had the sources not been given, it will continue to be dumbed down by the current mathematician, by the next series, and that is the reason why this book was published. The sources are now given. There's a strong foundation which is being set, and now that the foundation is being set, it will fly like this.
True. Some years back, there has been news which claim that ISRO has used the concept of Vedic Maths to launch the Chandrayaan 2. Have you heard that news?
I did go through a news article, but that's not true. It's not true at all.
So, news was like that ISRO scientist has taken the help of some Vedic Maths expert to launch the satellite.
No, that was a big, big fake news. I must say in your channel, this is a fake news.
Yeah,
So this
just forget about the news also. But is it true that, or is it possible that Vedic Maths concept or knowledge can be used in the space sector?
why not? Why not? Even before Galileo was assassinated because of his philosophies and rules about the sun and the moon, the circle, the earth is a sphere. Our own scientists have been proving it for thousands of years, yeah. So don't you think that there's a possibility that those very scientific principles coupled with Vedic mathematics can be used in the space sector? Now, I must tell you this also. Our own ancient language, like Sanskrit, is the most scientific language on the earth. It is being used for binary calculations and what not in the tech sector. So, itna purana language, if an old language like Sanskrit can be used, we have seriously underestimated the potential of Vedic math, Ayush. अगर use भी हुआ होगा ना, I'm sure there must be some credit to it. But having said that, this Chandrayaan, whichever the news which happened was a fake news, and this fake news was very, very clearly stated by the Govardhan Mutt Puri. If you go to his website, if you Google a bit, you find that it was clearly busted. There was no such record. There is nothing, there is no truth to it. I can vouch on that fact.
Correct. You were the part of advisory committee under the DST, that is
Still am,
Department
still
of
am.
Science and Technology. How does government actually decides that which knowledge system should deserve the national attention?
Right. So that is the policy of the government, and which knowledge system should deserve the attention of the government, that is decided by the people of India because we live in a democratic society. So the people decide that. They send representatives up in the government as well. And then based on the national trends, it is decided. It is as simple as that. So, as part of my committee work in the NCSTC, I was given the responsibility along with a committee. In that committee, we were to choose projects which was there to promote science and technology in the country. So we used to go through a lot of projects. In the last 2 years, this is the third year of my tenure. In the last 2 years, we went through many projects. We went through the details of it, the budget of it, what is happening in the thing, how much of Indianness is involved according to the national education policy. And based on those concepts, those baselines, and guidance from our chairman, sir, who have just been awarded the Padma Shri also, we took decisions that certain projects will go ahead and certain projects will not go ahead. It's very simple.
Being the member of the committee, how seriously this indigenous knowledge like Vedic maths have been taken at the policy level?
So it is very serious. In the promotion of science and technology in the country, the project which we received, we asked people to revise certain proposals, which was about usage of indigenous knowledge. We are very serious about it. Some people claim that this is not Indian or some concept they use. So we told them, okay, revise the proposal, see if you can have the credits being given to Indian mathematicians and they can be made a part of it. If you're making an app or if you're making a library on wheels, supposing then you can introduce some Indian books also in it as part of the indigenous Indianization of the ancient Indian knowledge.
True. How does advisory body ensures that expert advice should be taken care of or should not only remain in the paper?
How should it be taken care of, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, very simple. So the advisory board, how does it work? I must tell you the functions of it. See, it invites people from all across the body who've been involved in the cause first. The cause is taken. Like, why was I invited? I was invited because in the body, in the committee, because I was promoting a Indian aspect of Vedic mathematics globally. I have been promoting it for 25 years. So, and then the Man Ki Baat happened, the UNESCO happened. A lot of things were leading up to it. So somebody up in the ministry was watching me and he thought that my work was credible enough to invite me a position on the committee. So he invited me. And apart from me, there were other gentlemen and ladies also who were invited. Somebody who is promoting a magazine on mathematics, somebody who is promoting women Indian scientists across the country. They're doing library on wheels also. Somebody who is good with speaking abilities and taking science and giving promotions on science. So giving talks on science on various platforms. So like that, people are chosen, people come, and there were some investors also who have been investors because this is a financial decision you are taking. So you need to know and see the instinct of the people who are presenting the papers financially also. So all those aspects are taken, discussed, and the decision is taken.
You mentioned that you were the visiting faculty of IIT Prayagraj. So when you started teaching the students of the specific engineering students, so what were the reaction of the students when you started teaching the Vedic maths? It's like surprise, curiosity, or skepticism. What were the reaction?
There was no skepticism at all, I must tell you, Ayush. They all loved it. We had annual exams. Every semester, we had their examination twice and thrice, and there was no skepticism at all. In fact, I must tell you, I had the opportunity to work under Samagra Shiksha as well. So I have worked under three governments in Samagra Shiksha to implement Vedic mathematics in the entire union territory. That is Dada Nagra Haveli, Daman, Diu, Sikkim, and also parts of Manipur. So, under my influence, under my experience, I have not experienced any skepticism around Vedic mathematics. It is only there as a myth on the internet given by few people who are not willing to take India, giving it the credit it deserves, criticizing it from every angle and whatnot. So I'm sorry to say that we do not wish to be associated with such people. We are different. We are in our own league, and we are going places. And this is not just from today, but it has been the case from last 25 years. Even though those guys have been criticizing Vedic mathematics, we have found our own niche, found our own place globally. Having said that, also I want to point out to you that my TED talk went viral in 2012. This was in New York. and no criticism have been brought to my TED talk from New York. Go through the comments. There've been over 5,000 plus comments. It went viral. Right now, it has views of over 4.6 million views. It has not even a single negative comment. Ayush, my course is on Udemy. Sorry to be boastful, but since you raised the part of skepticism, I must point out to you, my Vedic Maths course is there on Udemy. Today, it has 26,000 students studying the courses which I present. Ayush, not even a single criticism or skepticism from anywhere. It is a mindset you have. You can make the world out of whatever you have, or make nothing out of whatever you have. Right? It's a positive mindset.
True, true.
If you have a positive mindset, आप कहीं भी जा सकते हो, आप कुछ भी कर सकते हो. You have to think big. बट अगर आपके पास वो पॉजिटिव माइंडसेट नहीं है, आपके पास सब कुछ होते हुए भी कुछ नहीं है. आई मस्ट टेल यू दिस स्टोरी, यू मस्ट रिमेंबर इट. She has seen it, heard it. It's a mythology story of Lord Ganesha. He revolved around his parents and say, "My world is my parents." And even though Kartikeya moved around the world and came back, still he could not find the happiness which is there. So it's about the positive spirit, Ayush. It's about the positivity you bring along and with your approach, whether you can inspire millions or not. Vedic maths was there since ages. Not many people looked at it. But today it is looked at as evolving mathematics of our own tradition. It is there as the Indian knowledge system. An entire ministry is devoted to it. Had there been no truth to it, the ministry would not have been there at all, looking at the Indian knowledge system point of mathematics. So, forget about the naysayers, वो तो बोलते रहेंगे, उनका काम है कहना, वो कहते रहेंगे, बट अपना काम है काम करना, अपने काम करेंगे.
True. I have recently read one book known as Algebra of Happiness. And in that, there is one very beautiful quote, which is written that clarity comes from subtraction and not addition. And if you want to live a happy life, you need to cut the noise, you need to filter out the subtraction. And then only clarity comes from simplification and correction.
I agree to you, absolutely. You have to cut out all the noise, otherwise you will not be able to focus. If you be able to focus, you can expand on the thought. Once you are able to expand on the thought and subtract all the negativities, the fear, and everything, you can reach places you can't even imagine. For example, when I started Vedic Maths, I did not imagine that it would be so successful that after 20 years of it practicing Vedic mathematics, I would be sitting in front of Honorable Prime Minister of the country, who is one of the most respected gentlemen in the whole wide world, one of the most popular PMs of our own country, and talking about Vedic maths.
So, do you have you met him personally?
No, not yet, not yet. But it was on Mann Ki Baat, and the entire camera crew was there in my office, and it was a live discussion. Yes.
क्या क्या कन्वर्सेशन हुआ था आपके और पीएम मोदी जी के बीच में?
श्योर. सो पहले उन्होंने बताया मेरे को अबाउट, पूछा मेरे से कि हाउ डू आई, मेरे को वैदिक मैथ्स के बारे में कैसे पता चला, मैं क्या करता हूँ, कितने साल से कर रहा हूँ. फिर हम लोग ने और डीप गया कि मैं कैसे करता हूँ वैदिक मैथमेटिक्स, क्या करता हूँ इसको प्रमोट करने के लिए. एंड देन द कन्वर्सेशन वेंट ऑन कि बच्चों को कैसा लगता है वैदिक मैथमेटिक्स. उनका उनका परीक्षा पे चर्चा पे एक बुक भी आता है, इट्स कॉल्ड एग्जाम वॉरियर्स. तो उन्होंने उनको इंस्टीट्यूशनलाइज कर दिया है. तो उन्होंने मुझसे पूछा सब सजेशंस अबाउट एग्जाम वॉरियर्स कि वैदिक मैथ्स में क्या होना चाहिए इन एग्जाम वॉरियर्स. तो these are the discussion we had. Then we had some more discussion about startups also, and some discussions about my parents. He thanked my parents, about my mother especially, about bringing Vedic mathematics to me. And there were some other points also which is there on YouTube for everybody to watch.
So is your points of Vedic Maths covered in that book, Exam Warrior?
Well, I haven't seen the recent edition. This was in 2022. We had a discussion, and in the current Pariksha Pe Charcha, the Prime Minister ji mentioned about Vedic mathematics, which everybody knows. But I haven't seen the current edition of the book, so maybe it's there. So yeah,
Do you see any gap between how mathematics is actually taught and how it is used in the problem solving?
pardon me. Mathematics is taught to be thought in the box. भाई अगर एक प्रॉब्लम है, if there's a problem, you have to solve it in that way only. There's one way to solve it, and that is the only word of God, and that is how it should be solved. There's no other way possible. Or the methods, and if we go to algebra, they may give two, three methods, and that is all. But
True.
what I found during my studies was that math is the most creative subject on earth. Would you believe it? A problem like multiplication can be solved in more than five to six methods using Vedic Math Sutras. Division, people find it difficult. Using Vedic Math, you can solve it using three methods. Then there is algebra, there is square roots, there is cube roots. A topic like cube roots, kids can solve it mentally using Vedic Math techniques. So there's so many examples which I can give.
Just give me no 5 6 techniques of Vedic maths which people have never listened about it.
Sure. For example, if I ask you, can you give me the divisibility rule for 13, the prime numbers? You may give me the divisibility rule for 2. You may give me the divisibility rule for 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 also you may give me. But can you give me the divisibility rule for 13, 19, 23? Vedic math has solutions for that. Now, having said that, for every prime number in Vedic maths, you can find a divisibility rule. Why prime number? I must say on record that every number divisibility rule can be given with Vedic maths. Did you know that? You
No.
apply the rule of osculation. That is the principle I'm telling you. You apply the principle of osculation and you get rules of Vedic maths applied, and you get every divisibility rule which is there in the book. I'm telling you this. Reciprocals, 1 by 13, 1 by 19, 1 by 38. Any number, the reciprocals, you can do it by Vedic maths. Less than 30 seconds it will take you. Sorry. Less than 30 seconds it will take you to solve the problem. And you'll be amazed at the solution. Once you see it for the first time, when I have saw it for the first time, the reciprocal of 1 by 19, I was amazed. पहले तो in Vedic maths, I never knew that it could be done horizontally because the normal math teaches you vertically and only one method is there, right?
Correct.
So through auxiliary fraction, which is the method, Sahayak auxiliary fraction, you can do it horizontally in less than 5 seconds. वैसे करके every reciprocal which is there, 2 digits, 3 digits, reciprocals can easily be done. Multiplication का तो हजारों examples हैं. I was drawn to Vedic mathematics not because of anything else, but also because of multiplication. A problem like 98 into 97 can be solved in less than 5 seconds. फिर हो गया division. Everybody is scared of division. With Vedic maths, you can do it using 3 methods. Fractions, decimals, percentage. You can convert between them. If it is a fraction, there's a lot of applications. Students are still confused and scared with the applications of fraction, decimal, percentages, conversions between them. Students of competitive examinations especially, they're very scared. Vedic math steps in there also. Any fraction can be converted into a decimal. Any decimal can be converted into a percentage, and vice versa. So, Vedic math is the holistic system, I mean to say. And, people love it because of the simpleness of it, because of the ease of it. And that you can say is magic of Vedic maths.
Now, what is the biggest threat to Vedic maths? It's like ignorance or over commercialization.
Well, there is no commercialization at all of Vedic maths. It's the love of it. They're simple math teachers who are trying to make a living. Once they understand the love of Vedic mathematics, they want to spread it. And there's nothing wrong in asking for fees. Is the ancient old system called the Guru Dakshina. There's nothing called commercialization or over commercialization of Vedic mathematics. And there's definitely ignorance about Vedic mathematics, not just in our country, but people don't know about it. It's not their fault. So there has to be promotion of Vedic mathematics, and people should spread the love of Vedic mathematics.
True. How Vedic maths can change students' relationship with fear and anxiety around the numbers?
Well, there's a thing called Rambaan. Vedic mathematics is a Rambaan or the best medicine for students in mathematics. The fear just goes away like crazy. I can't tell you enough. The fear around mathematics just goes away like crazy. So mathematics becomes more joyful. It becomes more fun-filled. It becomes more interesting. It becomes more easy because the fear is gone. Na? If you abandon fear, the confidence sets in, and then you can crack any examination. And you're not learning mathematics for just examination, you're learning for the joy of learning, for the understanding of the concept. And those concepts can be very well learned by Vedic mathematics through games, through puzzles, through interesting ways of explaining things. Use a little bit of technology also with Vedic maths, through apps, through flashcards. You can make a world of a difference by to a child's imagination. And that is what we want to develop today. Not just in the box thinking, Ayush, but out of the box thinking. And how will that come if you just not give them the tools to play? That is why in the country we have launched adult tinkering labs. They want to play, they have to enjoy. And we'll soon be launching these Vedic Math labs also in the CBSE curriculum. It's still coming. A lot of things are going on. I can't tell you more about those processes. But ye hoga. That much I can assure you.
Sure.
The fear of maths is going to go away completely in India's child. And as the vision of our Prime Minister goes, will be Atmanirbhar in 100 years after our independence in 2047. That much I can tell you this, Ayush. And it will happen through the gems of the country, yoga, Ayurveda, and Vedic maths.
True, true. Do you believe it can affect mental agility or some like speedy calculation or help to recognize any patterns?
Yeah. Vedic math is all about pattern recognition only. Like I mentioned in the beginning of this podcast, I was talking about Urdhava Tariyak Bhyam, which is vertically and crosswise. So vertically is vertical, straight line, vertical, right? And then you have a crosswise. This is a cross, and then you have vertical again. So single line, vertical, cross, vertical. If you apply this pattern to two-digit calculations, two-digit multiplication to two-digit multiplication, you can solve it in one line. Now, how does it help in pattern recognition? Because the same thing Ayush goes into three digits, four digits, five digits. The pattern just goes on. So if you see this pattern, see, I tell you, it was vertical, which is one step. This is crosswise, which has two steps. There is vertical again, one step. So it's 1, 2, 1. Understand the pattern, Ayush, is 1, 2, 1. And then if you're doing it for three digits, it's one step, two steps, three steps, two step, one step. That means vertical, crosswise, and the third pattern is the star pattern. Right? And then it's a crosswise, it's a vertical. So it's 1, 2, 3, 2, 1. And if it's 4 digits by 4 digits, it will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 1. Those are the patterns. So that can be represented in numbers as I'm telling you, and that can be represented in a pattern also, a beautiful pattern. So vertical, crosswise, vertical. An easy way to get one line answers from any two digit into two digit, three digit into three digit of simply kar sakte ho using Vedic maths.
Do you believe that Vedic maths can be useful in modern days like finance, AI, or data analytics?
Oh, big time, big time, big time. We've made a chatbot also on using AI for Vedic maths. Now, how does it help? Vedic math helps in AI. It helps and finance. So, like in Dubai, a lot of these guys who are into real estate, they are also into stock markets. And I must tell you, I found an interesting guy using Vedic maths in the casinos of South Africa also. That was
Really?
in Cape Town. Yes, they're super fast. Think, imagine this: the country is not good in maths, but the casino heads teach their casino, the game owners, the people who play those games, the captains or whatever you want to call them, they use Vedic maths.
But वो कैसे use करते हैं वो पूरा?
आप पोकर ले लो ना. In poker, you have to make patterns. How do you make those patterns? How much to give? How much to take? From each player, they calculate in seconds and give it to you if you visited a casino.
Correct.
You're playing a roulette, right? Three times, say, 1500. कितना होता है? You can say it simply with Vedic maths, and they can do it like this. Look, practice करते हैं. These guys are trained in Vedic maths. So the applications, not just in casinos, stock market, finance. I'm teaching a guy right now from Dubai who's learning real estate mathematics with me. They're learning how to calculate a mortgage, how to calculate, say, interest on a certain piece of investment. So those finance maths also is done with the help of Vedic maths. It's just the application of percentages, compound interest. So yes, manifold applications of one simple technique, sir.
No, before just closing with this insightful conversation, if India truly wants to become a global knowledge leader, then should Indian ancient cognitive tools to be used to train how future generation thinks and solve problems?
You mean should Indian tools be used to solve future problems? Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's no doubt on that. The Indian diaspora across the world is fueling this rise of India. Everywhere you go, you find Indians. Dubai, it does not have its own native ethnicity as much as they are Indians. The Indian school, the Indian food, the Indian culture. That's just one country. America, you know about the US, UK. Everywhere Indians is filled. So, and these people want to get connected to their roots. They want to learn about Indian maths. They want to learn about Indian food, Indian culture, Indian mythology, Indian yoga, Indian Ayurveda. They want to learn all about that. So they come to us to learn maths and we teach them. We have a full team. As you must have seen on Mann Ki Baat episodes, our entire office was featured. And we have teachers, we recruit teachers, we train them on Vedic math, and they are internally training the Indian diaspora outside. They are more interested in their own culture. They want to get connected because they are far away from our culture. So, yes, they should be taught Indian values, they should be taught Indian culture, they should be taught Indian heritage. And yes, it will make India a superpower. India is already a skilled power, is already a superpower. It just needs to get that rank there. And we are there. We are already there with the leadership.
True. Fair enough. Thank you so much, sir, for coming.
Thank you, Aayush, for having me. We had a very insightful conversation and it was a pleasure being here. Thank you for inviting me, Aayush.
Thank you so much, sir. Hope you enjoy the conversation.
Of course, I loved it. Thank you. It was an amazing conversation we had about different aspects of Vedic mathematics. Thank you for inviting me.
थैंक यू सो मच ये एपिसोड को एंड तक देखने के लिए। आज की कन्वर्सेशन एक चीज क्लियर करती है कि क्यूरियोसिटी से ही क्लैरिटी आती है एंड क्लैरिटी से ही प्रोग्रेस, वेदर इट्स फाइनेंस, पॉलिटिक्स, स्पोर्ट्स, बिजनेस, एंटरप्रेन्योर्स, स्पिरिचुअलिटी और द फ्यूचर ऑफ इंडिया।
Knowledge doesn't confuse, it resolves. अगर आज का ये एपिसोड आपको इन्फॉर्मेटिव नहीं, इंसाइटफुल लगाओ, कंटेंट नहीं, पर्सपेक्टिव लगाओ, तो चैनल को सब्सक्राइब कीजिए ताकि आपके लिए हम और बेहतर पॉडकास्ट ला सके. We will back with such insightful conversation. Until then, stay curious.